although we all have the same media as children, we're all subjected to the same schemes by the big boys growing up, the same inversions. Everyone's specific astropsychology, everyone's birth chart. And if you really want to get into the spiritual mechanics of planet Earth, learn about astrocartography, because everyone's astrocartography is also going to influence your life. The places have astrological influence over your life. So the levels of awareness people have, the teachability of humans is a vast range. Before I left South Carolina, I was looking at the 50-cent books at the library, and this big 8.5 by 11 Color Time Life softback book was about ancient shamanic culture, and I started reading it, and they said majority of the time the shaman would get a terrible, tragic illness that the doctor couldn't heal. Okay? So this would majority of the time become this specialty or their healing mastery, such as in my case, learning how to heal cancer and supposedly incurable skin and mental illness, as I'm still learning, um, is just it's a I'm in a government contract. Honestly, I've been procrastinating on mentioning this, but frankly, I must be one of the first that it's basically an open healing contract. They know I believe in self healing. They know I believe in organic healing. So, you hear about all these SSP and people that were tortured, and even as I mentioned in my last video, The Men Who Stare at Goats is actually a documentary. But I'm one of the few that's been allowed to have full sovereignty and control over their own program, and I'm really thankful. And that's why one of the reasons why I started doing this, because I take this seriously. I know a lot of people think I'm a joker or a joke, but I consider myself a sacred clown. I consider clowning as a huge factor. If there's no clowning, I wouldn't be able to really achieve much healing. And this brings up the next point I have. In the movie Patch Adams, Robin Williams plays Patch Adams, and he says right in the very beginning, when he was depressed, he discovered that helping others helped him to forget about his pain, his problems, to help him heal. So my philosophical question for my friend Ian and anyone else who has the courage to comment here is, how and where do you draw the line? Did the reptilians create the line? Or is it possible that as soon as you have the courage to say a kind word or an enlightening or helpful word or do anything to help anyone else heal or become aware, that you just admit that that's the most rapid way for you to heal your shadow? And my uncle, like I say, told me that my uncle David Brown said, quite frankly, he's born again Christian, that what I do to help others is the most selfish thing I do, or the thing that helps me the most. And I chuckled about thinking about how honest of a reflection that is. So when we work with our problems, when we work with our disability, when we work with whatever the flunk is making us flunk out of school of life, supposedly. Say, for example, one of my issues is I was a bad wage slave. I was bad at taking orders from people unless there was some brilliant genius that could teach me something about a subject I was interested in. I was a horrible slave. Okay, does that disqualify me from having a family, from having legal or an ability to have a family, sacred space? I say no. However, to find a woman to put up with or to not be extremely stressed out with a man having this sort of experiment in life with the edge of legality, or even not even concerning himself with that, as I understand, for someone that wants to have a family, most people, men and women, it's asking too much. They can't compromise whatever their relationship is with the status quo, the normies around, not just the secret society people, but everyone. So in this town, so many people that love and respect me, wish me a good day and say hi and are happy to see me, but that's it. They can't really. They might, if they're really risking it, they might talk to me for 10 or 20 minutes. But see, I openly promote ideas of freedom. I openly promote discernment at a level that the deceiver really doesn't not want. And because I'm a resident of Turtle Island, because I believe in transparency and I practice it, it could be a great turnoff for those who want the man to remain silent and mysterious, or obedient to this keeping your mouth shut, no monkey see, no monkey do. The three monkeys with their fingers in their ears. And so, leading back to this idea about shadow work, yes, my friend, it is a great danger to try to teach others anything if you haven't done shadow work. But I have done a lot of shadow work over the years, and I'm not saying that my subconscious is healed. Because if it was, I would have no more flare-ups, and I would never have any need to take or receive or call myself less than. However, when you look at how sick the whole society is, the whole obedience to materialism with no limitation, for example, in this county with no rent control, with the money changers, with the city managers having full ability to manipulate the local system to the point of full-on madness. You see, staying in a large tent is just simply the only reasonable thing that I could see until I leave this region. It's not actually out of disrespect for myself. It's actually the opposite. It's actually out of respecting my need for space, my need for peace. So my belief is that yes, it is extremely dangerous to be a spiritual teacher who is not 100% clear, but when does the human soul get to be 100% clear and inside a body? Do bodhisattvas really exist? Does anyone know if a bodhisattva is a made-up concept or a real thing? Let me know in the comments. My studies have shown that term only showed up in the last several hundred years. So my thinking is that maybe a Buddhist guy made that up a couple hundred years ago. Tell me what you think. Okay. That being said, everybody has things to teach and learn in this life. However, when we teach others, lessons, especially children, from and through our wounds or with our broken parts in our subconscious mind still there, it can do great harm to them, obviously. And it can be very easy, not only out of your belief in perfectionism or fear that you don't deserve it without being an enlightened master, but also fear of harming others can prevent us from ever sharing when people have so much wisdom that they know over life experiences that they don't. But there's always a grain of salt that you can take. To remember to take that grain of salt, as the cliche goes, and always take what resonates that I say or anyone says. If it resonates, take it. So they, like I say, when they say that people are enlightened, they seem to be like little children. So Osho hires this Sheila. So there's not necessarily an understanding of boundaries when a person is oneness or conscious or enlightened. So what you're saying about the shadow work is actually very accurate. It causes a great amount of harm when you spread around the mental illness of your shadow obstacles. So learn to be a student and teacher who can discern the difference and take the wisdom and not the teacher's crap. Or if you don't agree with some things they say, just learn to, disagree. All thoughts have origins and results. So look at the origins of your thoughts and the results of your thoughts to get closer to the heart of creation. The Dalai Lama, after 8 hours of rest, he wakes up at 3 in the morning and does insight meditation for 2 hours before the other monks get up, which is simply, he questions every thought. Is this real? But Satan, or the Luciferian, the Black Sun, seem to have no self-respect, full dictatorship, full coercion, and terrifying and scaring you into doing things. Whereas the original creator, the almighty sacred Christos, allows all. Freedom of will is given to all. However, the law of karma does exist. Becoming multidimensional through the microwave media, through music, through fame, success, through healing, and even such as the strain of ganja called Jack Herer, you could become multidimensional through inventing a strain. Okay, so what I'm saying here is that one of the ways you can use the devil to transcend the devil is to use their microwave gadgets to spread awareness. And when you do this, you can actually, this is the irony of being afraid to go making media and want to go in the 5D. Because Aquarius rules over gadgetry, you can actually become bilocational through these platforms. Like more than one person could be watching me on different videos right now, so that I am in more than one place at one time. It's awesome. It's an awesome miracle. So use these tools to help others if you can, if you got the courage or just the desire as well. But again, the fear is of the false evidence of the deceiver will always be there to block you, to prevent you. And this is the primal shadow work we all have to do. Okay? And that being said, recklessness is not the answer, but harmlessness, self-discernment, self-respect, they're fearlessly going through the Akashic in your subconscious mind, your life story, dusting off the cobwebs, and reveal clarity.